Anyways, our opponent raises on the button to $7, which is a pot size raise at 1-2. And Dani, or Ansky, opts to 3-bet King Queen offsuit. Obviously, there's merit probably to flatting, but we do opt to 3-bet, and our opponent calls. So this is the first spot where I'm going to let you take over, Dani, and decisions for spots like this where we flopped a good but not great hand in a 3-bet pot out of position.
Yeah, I mean, 100 big blinds deep, definitely the standard option here is to check. It's just pretty simple. You know, you're not going to get many hands to call which you're beating if you bet. And, you know, a better hand's obviously never ever folding. So there's just, you know, strictly there's not that much value to a bet. With that said, against certain opponents, you might want to bet here, both for value and if against super perceptive opponents, you might also decide to bet for metagame reasons. You don't want to make it obvious that you have a hand like King Queen, but you know, vast majority of the time you got to be checking here.
So Dani does check, and our opponent bets 29.
I mean, obviously you're going to call. There's no reason to fold yet. You know, you got to sort of just play the guessing game for a little bit at least. Call and see what he does on the turn.
Okay.
So we folded there?
Well, I was just giving you a thought. So here, I'm sorry.
Right. You know, here obviously it's a nice situation, so you check.
Yeah. So sorry. I'm sorry. I guess I messed up the hand history there. We should have called, but I just wanted to hear Donnie's take on it. So in this one, same situation. We're checking, and this time our opponent checks behind.
And you know, the same thing really applies for this turn card. You're not really worried about any river. The only river that really hurts your hand is actually a king. Maybe, you know, that gives any 10 a straight, but even then, you don't know exactly. That could, I mean, it could be an okay card. You know, there's really nothing. You don't have to worry about giving away a free card here. Just checking it and letting him bet is generally going to be pretty standard here. You know, you call one and then see what he does on the river. Basically, it's just standard 3-bet pot. A lot of time when you flop a marginal hand, you just basically play the check calling game sometimes.
Okay. And based on certain rivers, what is your kind of default strategy for a river here? Is going to be to check call turn and then probably check fold the river, figuring he's not gonna try and bluff this board, or is it going to depend on game?
I mean, this is not really. I don't think this is one of those situations where you can really give any sort of strategy. It's all based on your. It's like 100% based on your opponent. Certain opponents you should be calling like every time when he bets river. Other ones you don't even have to bother.
Okay.
You know, it's just there's really no definitive way to answer the question.
For people trying to take away something other than it does depend, which I know it does. Is there any kind of tip you could give? Maybe like, or if not, you know, I guess
if he bluffs a lot and he's really aggressive, then you should call. If he doesn't and he's really tight, then you should fold. If he knows he's really tight and therefore will try to take advantage, then maybe you should call. If he's really loose and an idiot, you know, or if he's really loose and just a lunatic, but he actually knows how everyone perceives him, and he likes bluffing in the deceptive spots, not in these obvious ones, then you should probably fold. You know, it's things like that you got to be thinking about your opponent.